CC gives you the tools to think for yourself, and Rivendell takes those tools and implements them in tackling some of the biggest questions that Western culture's ever faced. Classical Conversations, of course, there's one tutor with a group of up to 12 students. Rivendell is similar in the fact where you have 2 faculty or 2 professors, and ideally the largest group will be 24 students, following that 1 on 12 kind of discipleship model that Jesus laid down while he was here on earth. It's the next step from a CC program, because CC, you're there 1 day a week. You're with your homeschool community, and you go home, you do your schoolwork, you come back, and you're there in class again the next week with the community. It's where I've formed some of my closest friends. In Rivendell, it's like that, but you're living there instead of going there 1 day a week. You're there all the time. It's more independent from your family. You're getting out on your own, and the small nature of the community really fosters good relationships. Rivendell employs the same discussion methods, Socratic learning, so you're really delving deep into truths with your classmates and your professors, a lot like the challenge program in Classical Conversation. Coming into Rivendell, we started with critical thinking. In critical thinking, there were three big things that I took away from critical thinking. One of them was cruciformity. It's the idea of Christ-likeness. That's a word that goes around here at Rivendell, and I feel like Classical Conversations gave me the tools to think for myself. And then at Rivendell, I came and I was presented with this idea of cruciformity and becoming like Christ in my thought and my actions and my speech, and that was very impactful on every module at Rivendell for me. The second thing that I took away from it that kind of fits into the cruciformity is Plato's idea of a good life. Socrates has this quote in the Apology where he's confronted by this council of elders in the city of Athens, and they tell him, you need to stop stirring up thoughts in our young men, or else we're going to kill you. And they tell him to go away to another city and shut up. And he says he can't shut up because the unexamined life is not worth living. That was another point in critical thinking that would determine the course of my Rivendell experience. Where I really came alive was biology. It was starting to talk about man and his place in creation, concerning creation primarily. So is man an animal, or is man an angel? Where does he fit in the creation? And you come up with this conclusion that man is somewhere in between, that man is lower than the angels, but higher than the animals. He's this weird merge of physical and spiritual in one. He is referred to as the nephesh, or the living soul, when God breathes the life into him in creation, and the implications that had on my life. When I sat down and saw those for the first time, I was looking out a window at a coffee shop or something. That really impacted me, and that's when the Rivendell experience came alive. Those things from critical thinking, cruciformity, the examined life, took new meaning. It challenges you to look at the way you live. The psychology module really focused on who man was, like primarily concerning man, not necessarily creation like biology did. So it was like biology, but a step further into man and his purposes and his ends, and that was fascinating to me. And then we move into economics, and we start seeing how the flow and change of resources and money affects those civilizations and those societies. We move into literature and art, and those were the capstone of the program for me. And you see the outpouring of man's heart. All of these ideas are things that we wrestle with here. It's engaging Western culture and forcing you to think about it, to confront it, all while examining yourself and trying to figure out what it means to move closer towards the good life, the God-ordained good life.